Tape script 7.5.
The history of the smile.
Part 1.
The historian and author, Kate Williams, goes in search now of the modern, winning smile.
W.C. Field's advice might have been to start the day with a smile and get it over with, but the power of the smile should not be underestimated. The broad and confident smile is at the heart of our communication and central to how we interact with people in today's society. However, this hasn't always been the case. As Colin Jones, Professor of History at Queen Mary, University of London, explains.
Since the Renaissance, there's been a tremendous emphasis on forms of politeness and civility, which emphasise control. All that sort of conduct literature emphasises closure of the mouth. Of course, one smiles at all sorts of circumstances, but the crucial thing is to control that smile and to keep the lips firmly shut so that the mouth is closed and the teeth are undisplayed.
Just because they were restrained doesn't mean they didn't have a good time. As a historian, I'm fascinated by how images of our ancestors as straight-faced and serious makes us think that they were dour. From Elizabeth I to Queen Victoria, it is almost as if we think those before us never smiled. Art critic Laura Cumming, author of A Face to the World, has examined smiles in portraiture from across the centuries.
Most smiles that I can think of in portraiture are closed-lipped. It seems to me that that's quite significant. Clearly, teeth are an issue in the medieval era, and they become an issue very strongly with the arrival of sugar. And in Flemish art, in which there are lots of smiling portraits, there's a suggestion that the open-mouthed smile is indicating speech and sometimes indicating age. There are wonderful paintings, Lucas Cranach and so on, where the sitter is opening their mouth to show either rather beautiful flashy white teeth, in which case they're showing their teeth off, or they're showing the crumbling teeth like a faltering, falling skyline. Most smiles closed.
Professor Colin Jones feels there's one portrait in particular that has great significance in the history of the toothy smile we know today. Self-portrait in a turban with her child by the French court painter Elizabeth Louise Vigée-Lebrun, painted in 1786 and first shown a year later at the Louvre, where it still remains.
It really crystallises the change, which has probably been going on in the previous years, about the meaning of the smile with an open mouth showing teeth is. She's sitting in a very sort of casual way with her rather beautiful child on her lap, looking directly at the viewer with a very charming smile, and she's showing white teeth. It provokes quite a storm. There are people who write in about this and say, this is quite radical, it's quite disgraceful that she's showing herself in this way. By focusing on the smile, I think we've definitely got something which is changing. It's something which is a very significant moment, I think, in the representation of the smile in Western art. But it also is flagging up a change in the way that people think about the relationship between their smile and their basic identity.
Vigée-Lebrun is not the first by any means. What she is, however, is the first to make a real style of it.
What is also interesting about this smile is that it's flagging up Madame Vigée-Lebrun is a woman who can afford a dentist. She could act as almost like an advertisement for some of these Parisian dentists who are seen as Europe's greatest practitioners in the 18th century, or for the tooth powders or pastes and toothbrushes which are emerging precisely at this time.
Tape script 7.6. Part 2.
The greatest single factor governing the development of modern smiling habits, apart from dentistry, was the invention of photography. and in due course the invention of motion picture photography.
The emergence of Hollywood studio shots, where the smile is seen as something which is absolutely vital to the person's charisma. It's really in the late 19th and definitely much more in the 20th century that the idea comes forward that the informal shot, which can be picked up by instant photography, becomes a way in which individuals can register their individuality.
We have our photographs taken all the time, weddings, Christmas, holidays, but it's actually quite difficult to get that perfect natural smile. So to find out how to look good on camera, I'm here in a photography studio in North London to meet the photographer Olivia Mann, and we're going on a mission for the perfect natural smile.
Yeah, great. That's fantastic.
So Olivia, you specialise in wedding photography, and when you're out there photographing the wedding, how do couples feel about smiling on their wedding day?
I have brides coming to me and saying, oh, I'm really worried about my crow's feet, and if I smile too much, then that's going to make me look awful. What is actually a nightmare for me is that if someone is worrying about their crow's feet, then what they tend to do is tighten up and clench all their facial muscles, so they actually look quite scary, which is the last thing you want in your wedding photographs.
So Olivia, I can't put it off any longer. I'm going to have my photograph taken. What would you do to get me to make that perfect natural smile?
What I want you to do is just sit there for a moment and just start relaxing everything. Okay, first of all, your forehead. Everyone holds a lot of tension in their forehead. Really relax the muscles around your eyes and your cheekbones, and just let your lips fall open. If you could just imagine a moment in your life where you felt particularly happy, confident and attractive.
I'm in Italy, in a little village by the sea, and having a large plate of pasta, and it's beautiful weather, and I'm with friends, and it's just a wonderful evening.
So now I want you to hold on to all of those feelings, but you're now in the studio and you're ready to be photographed. So open your eyes and let's go. That's absolutely lovely. And just drop your chin a tiny touch. Yeah, that's the shot. That's lovely.
Oh, I'd love to see it. So, can I have a look? Oh, that's great. That's fabulous. I love it. So there's me thinking of Italy. I think I'm going to try this from now onwards. Every time I have to have my photograph taken, I'm going to start thinking about eating pasta in Italy by the sea.
Tape script 7.7. Part 3.
The profound transformation of whole societies by what can be achieved now in the dentist's chair is giving rise to completely new attitudes about what is beautiful and what is acceptable and what is desirable in our smile. So in a way, the medical and the cultural are travelling in parallel.
One man who has our smiles literally in his hands is dentist Martin Fallowfield. So is there such a thing as a perfect smile?
There are those who argue that the perfect smile is an imperfect smile. The very, very best technicians will be building in tiny irregularities when they're building a full mouth smile. This wall-to-wall symmetrical dentistry that we're seeing actually doesn't look that good.
So what's the future for our smiles? Bigger, whiter, wider? Angus Trumbull.
If you look at the difference between Rita Hayworth and Julia Roberts, it is impossible not to be startled by an amplification. The dial on the meter marked smiling is being turned up, and there's no reason to suppose that it will stop being turned up. It will get bigger, possibly fiercer, certainly whiter, and possibly even broader.
So one day we might be like the Cheshire Cat, big and smiley and the grin remains.
Yes, and in that situation, a solemn or sombre person may strike us as not just bizarre, but mad.
What kind of person would you like to be? Are you happy in your skin? In this unit, we take a light-hearted look at humour and the ways we can learn how to make our lives happier. Listen to some people talking about being happy.
The jobs that I think people find the most happiness are creative jobs, because I'm creative, but I also think that the jobs that people are happy in are the ones where they're following their passion, the things they love, the things they like to do.
So I think people that work in professions where they're mentally stimulated, they'll find the most happiness. So if you're always doing new and interesting things when you're at work, that's when you'll be happiest.
I suspect in teaching and nursing, because they're caring for professions, I'd say. So you get a lot of reward from looking after people, from mentoring people, things like that.
I think teaching. I think teaching the young is one of the most rewarding jobs there is in the United States.
I'm a wannabe theater arts person, but I ended up being a social worker. I would rather be in the theater.
Well, I think obviously it's different for everyone. I think if you're in the medical profession, then you're going to get a certain amount of happiness and self-worth and satisfaction. But then also you can make yourself really happy by being as creative and as free as you want, you know, if you're an artist. But yeah, it depends on what you define as happy.
I think it's always when people are able to help other people. I think if your life is driven by individual gain, it's going to be difficult because you can always want more. But if you know that you're making a difference in somebody else's life, then that just really brings a whole nother level of satisfaction, I think.
I believe that the job that could give you most fulfillment and happiness would be that which one serves others. I believe that counseling, for example, helping others get through hard times is one of the jobs that gives yourself a certain measure of happiness to be able to share it with others, yes, help others find it.
I have taken up hand weaving, and I would say that is a profession where people can be very happy, not earn very much money, but be very happy. Why? Well, it's very therapeutic, it's so relaxing, you're your own boss, which I would highly recommend to people, and yeah, it's just doing something creative brings you great joy.
Being with friends, going to the pub, just enjoying life.
The thing that really makes me smile is animals. I always notice that because I have quite a frowny face normally, and whenever I see animals on the TV, I realise my face opens up. I just love them. I love other species so much. Because I think partly because we don't really understand them, so you can't take anything negative from their behaviour. I think that's one of the things. But other than that, family and friends and just talking and eating together.
Yeah, watching children play in a park, people watching in general. Yep.
I think being happy for me means everything being at peace in my mind. My mind's not racing around, I'm not worrying about anything extraneous, I feel comfortable, I feel settled, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm planning to do, and I don't have any extraneous concerns.
I think just being able to be in my own skin and doing what I want to do is definitely something that makes me happy, yeah.
So many things make me laugh and smile at work. I work with people, so people always say and do things which are surprising, interesting and hilarious. And at home, my daughter makes me smile, she makes me laugh, and so does my dog, of course, as well. But, you know, English people love their pets, so.
My family makes me smile, my friends, traveling, and good food.
I like children, so when I see children, then I think always I will smile, and not on purpose, but I just feel very happy and very lovely, yeah.
I really love spontaneity, so like if something happens and I can comment on it, if someone's walking past and if someone slips, or I don't know, just having good, if you can smile with a stranger, or you just make a joke. When things go wrong, you can kind of make light of it. I don't know, I kind of like that. I like things happening with others that just spontaneously happen. I think I've had really magic moments, actually.